for the first time, I really feel that the students can understand these concepts. We also have excellent deep discussions, and I feel that the students can even anticipate what some of these processes are and how they occur by having chemistry beforehand. In fact, I feel that we go deeper into these concepts more than we did in the year-long course. This year, I feel I was able to cover about 2/3 to 3/4 of the topics that I covered in the year-long course in a semester.
I'm so fortunate to work with those people. What other feedback have we received? On the higher education front, I'm working on my doctorate at Columbia, and I've run this program by some of the science education specialists there, and they just laugh and say, of course, this is an obvious program to have. Given what we know about science and curriculum and reform and what goes on in the international forum, of course, it's obvious that this would be what a good program would look like. I'm also involved in, I do spend a lot of time being connected to the science education community in general. I'm on 2 listservs where I have access to over 1,000 teachers in New York State, and over the last couple of years in various conversations, I have described this program, to discuss this program, and various curriculum leaders and department chairs and teachers themselves have commented and said things like, this is just so progressive, it's ideal, we wish we could do it. Recently I was at a conference at the State Education Department looking at the physics regents debacle, and the similar feelings were expressed there. What's interesting and may come as a surprise that this program, despite the fact we have not tried to advertise it or get out there lest we be the next cold fusion, we've already had an effect on other schools in Westchester. At least one school has already used us as their model in completely revamping their curriculum. Although they didn't accept our program lock, stock, and barrel, they used it as their inspiration, and they adapted it to their local concerns. Also, David Ryan was approached by a school board member at another local Westchester school and asked it for information about it. He provided. They took it back to the board and took it back to the administration. The science department said, please look at this. So it's an interesting thing. Also, through my administrative internship last semester, I was introduced through my advisor to one of the coordinators in the New York City public school system. And she was very interested in finding out more about this because they're very interested in our curriculum development model as well as the program itself in terms of revamping their program. Surprisingly, over the last 2 years, we've had very little to no feedback from the parents or the community, either directly or through the guidance folks, or whether it's through the administration. There are 2 points I'd like to highlight, though, and these are criticisms that have come this way, certainly those of memory. One of those came from one parent who was concerned that the new program, and this is true, a junior would only be allowed to take 1 SAT-2 in the subject area before their by the end of their junior year. And I was concerned this is a real concern. I took it to guidance and administration, and they said this really isn't a concern given the college acceptance climate. I don't pretend to be an expert in that regard, but that's what I was told. There are also concerns expressed from 2 parents about transfer. When students transfer out, does this create difficulties being such a unique program and so different? And we did have one student who transferred to a private school, and my understanding is there were some placement issues initially, but I think that worked out all right. But we can't help but wonder and ask, are these problems any greater than any program, and should we design a program based on the potential for one student who might return? On the positive side, unexpectedly, students who've come into the district having radically different programs, much to our surprise, we've been able to place them very, very well and fabulously. So that's been a surprising positive. So you're probably wondering, where's the money? Where are the results? What results do you have? The real year for quantitative results is next year after we have some standardized testing. Next year will be the first year. But what's interesting, in one regard, we do have some quantitative results, and this exceeded any of our expectations. When I talk about these results, people say, wow, what? Are you serious? Do you mean this? And the answer is yes. Those results have to do with AP enrollment. What I was showing you a graph here is the students who are enrolled in AP Science. This year, on the left, 2003-2004, there are currently 55 students who are enrolled in AP Science, qualified students who are enrolled in AP Science. Next year, we not only have students who are signed up for, but who are already scheduled in without conflicts and will be taking, 85 students will be taking AP Science. That is, in the first year, we could have seen a return, a 55% increase. The bad news is, we don't think we reached our potential. We think that number can go even higher. There have been a couple interesting implications that we didn't intend with the program. The first of those was what I call retrofit. Students who were under the old program, students who, in that earlier graphic, the 30% or 75% who would never have taken any chemistry or physics, who were in their junior year, not a part of the program, part of the old program, one of the guidance members came up with just a brilliant idea that we certainly can't take credit for or have thought of, but they said, well, why not let these students take this core program? And the results of this have just been amazing. We've had 11 or 12 students take this program. They've been very successful, and as a consequence, have gotten back on the honor science track. Those students next year as seniors are asking to take chemistry, they're asking to take physics, and one of those students is even going to qualify for and take AP biology. These are students who would have never taken any chemistry, any physics, or even one AP course in their career. So that was an unintended consequence. Another one is completely unintended, the Columbia Honor Science Program. It's a competitive program in the metropolitan area where over 200,000 students compete for select seats at Columbia University for courses in math and science. And the course, the test that students take has physics, chemistry, biology, earth science, and mathematics on the test. And it's typically taken by 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. Well, you can see on the traditional program, we really couldn't have any students who would be qualified or do well on that exam. My understanding is that we've only ever had one student enter that program, and that was a student who on their own took chemistry and physics in the summer at Johns Hopkins. I interviewed the students of the large cohort we